Rehearsal's going, Brian?
Very well up to now, up to the usual standard, I think, which is usually slow up to the last minute and then panic. But it's going okay.
How much time have you put aside this time?
We have a full week here in Shepperton where we are now, which is without the PA, but we have the monitors, so our stage environment is more or less as it will be. And we have a mock-up of how the lights will be, and then the stuff is dismantled and goes to the States, and we follow it out a week later, and then we have 3 or 4 days with everything, and with John working the PA and everything.
How much of News of the World are you going to do this time?
News of the World will feature heavily, partly because it's easy to do. Most of the stuff is fairly simple in terms of instrumentation.
An old material too, Brian?
Definitely, yes. Because a lot of people come to see a show for the familiar things. And always at the end of any artist's show, generally, when he starts doing the old stuff, people respond in a completely different way. So you have to, as you say, you have to strike the balance between doing the things which people want to hear and doing the things which you think you ought to be introducing them to. The deal was that we made the album for the production company, which is something like a middleman. It's between the artist and the record company. We make the album for the production company. They sell it to a record company afterwards. And in retrospect, it's probably the worst thing we ever did.
Oh, go on.
I think it was called the Mind Boggles. We needed a drummer, so we advertised in my college notice board. We split up 2 or 3 years later, completely disillusioned, because although we'd had a lot of successful gigs and we played colleges and we played pubs and small clubs up and down the country, we just never got anywhere. And that was really the chastening experience which led to the way we decided to organise Queen. I think that was perhaps the biggest influence of all, the failure of that early venture.
I would want to use the group, because that's partly, we sort of use each other in a way, if we have ideas, and that is the big thing about a group, that you have a group of people who understand each other's ways of working, and you can get the maximum out of each other. So there are things which perhaps at the particular time you don't want to do for the group, but mainly that the group is the vehicle. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's the best vehicle that we have.
John? I'd never now over the last 5 or 6 years, and I was wondering now what targets you have left to achieve, really.
Number 1 album in America would be nice.
Yeah, but it's fun. Definitely fun. I'm looking forward to it with... I'm pretty nervous about it, to be honest, because we haven't been there for 2 years. And I know that 5 minutes after we're on stage, everything's going to be fine, and we know what we're doing, because we know we can play. But I know I'm going to be very keyed up when we do the first few concerts. That's part of the fun too. I like it. I mean, no, it doesn't answer. It's not the answer to life's problems, but I think that music has a place in people's lives, which is very important. And not all of us can go and solve the problems in Cambodia, and. That's what we do, we make music, and I don't feel ashamed of that. And especially I don't feel ashamed of being on stage and communicating in this way with people. I like it,
Guitarra. All right, good guitar player. Hi, Brian.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Very good.
How do you like in Rio and São Paulo?
We had a rest in Rio, and I think we're going to do a lot of work here, which is what we wanted to do.
Brian May, quando esteve no Rio de Janeiro, foi o maior visitante das feiras hippies no Rio de Janeiro. How do you like that? The hippie fair.
It was very nice, yeah. They all told me I couldn't go, it was too dangerous, but it seems like everyone was very friendly and there was no problem.
Disseram a ele que era muito perigoso, mas ele sentiu que não havia nada de perigo, que todos eram amigos e que todos o recebiam bem.
Everybody's protecting us in cotton wool here,
Okay, Brian, how could you establish a parallel between that audience of the Hyde Park, 150,000 people, and this one tonight, about 200,000 people? Ele vai estabelecer um paralelo entre esta assistência de hoje, de 200 mil espectadores, e a última que ele teve no Hyde Park, com 150 mil. How do you feel about that?
It's a very different situation, because in Hyde Park we were known to everybody, and that was like our way of saying thank you. This is a complete new meeting. Mm-hmm. Nobody out there really knows what we're like, and we don't really know what they're like. So there's a real feeling of expectancy about the whole thing,
I'm quite sure you're not right, and I'll explain you why. Estou dizendo aí que ele não está certo na sua resposta. Ele diz que há uma grande diferença, porque lá em Londres eles são muito conhecidos, e aqui no Brasil não. Eu acho que eles são bem conhecidos aqui no Brasil também. You're well known here in Brazil also.
Yes, we're well known in some sense, but still people don't know exactly what it's going to be like when in this stadium, you know.
Ok, isso é apenas uma brincadeira, está dizendo que isso foi dentro de uma certa filosofia, um certo approach, que na verdade eles são conhecidos aqui no Brasil, eles sabem disso, mas a filosofia das canções deles são bem compreendidas, é claro, pelo povo inglês.
Bien, entonces aquí estamos con Brian May, guitarrista del grupo Queen, para completar el trío de reinas en nuestro póker de esta noche en la música que sacudió al mundo. Brian May está considerado como uno de los mejores guitarristas actualmente dentro del movimiento rock.
Muchas gracias, señor.
Gracias al sonido de tu música ha sido posible que esa apreciación se pudiera hacer. Pero lo que queremos preguntarle a Brian es que a pesar del tiempo transcurrido, digo a pesar porque 10 años es un ciclo bastante grande para la vida de un grupo musical, ellos no son considerados como una reliquia, sino que se mantienen actualmente en la onda del movimiento del rock, con discos tan controversiales como The Game y hasta el mismo de Flash Gordon. ¿A qué cree él que se debe esto?
Brian, he says, why do you think that Queen, even though they've been on stage for 10 years, are still a relic in the new music movement?
Are still, what, relevant?
A relic.
A relic? How do you mean? Oh, we're survivors?
Yes, that's right.
I think, to be honest, we survive because we always change, you know?
Dice que para ser honestos piensa que sobreviven porque siempre están cambiando. La música de ellos siempre está cambiando.
And because we're never really satisfied with a particular style or a particular thing, and we never want to repeat. Also because the four of us have stayed together as one group, and also because tell him that, yeah. It's very important.
Dice que primeramente cree que han sobrevivido porque los cuatro siguen juntos. Y porque la música de ellos siempre está cambiando, nunca están satisfechos con un estilo de música. Siempre varía, o sea, siempre quieren más, ¿no? Se exigen a sí mismos.
Siempre buscan nuevo público.
Un nuevo...
Para nosotros y para el público. Y también... porque los cuatro escriben la música, no una persona. Los cuatro. Es muy importante para el grupo.
Como habrán notado, está hablando español, ¿no? Este fue Brian May, guitarrista del grupo Queen, en la música que sacudió al mundo. Ya regresamos.
Seldom been so nervous, in fact, probably never. But I think it was the greatest day of our lives, even though we played only a very small part. It's the thing I'll remember above all in our career. It's amazing, amazing day. It crossed me very strongly, and I related it to my own life, I suppose, and everybody's life. I thought, you know, love always does come to an end at some time, you know. And so I had this song immediately in my head, which is called Who Wants To. I think we're all still trying to use this beast which Queen is as a vehicle to get our own ideas across. And we all write very different kinds of songs, and it's quite a challenge to get them through this kind of machinery and get on and do it. I don't like to be hanging around onto it. I like to get in as much as you can, because you can build up this great rhythm and you get into the mood and the feel of playing, and you play better each night. In my head, I then got to take it to the other three, and they will see it totally differently and want to do it in a different way. And some of their input will be very good and very necessary, and some of it will probably actually destroy the meaning of the song. So you've got to be, there's all this interaction going on, work on yourself, and you have nothing else to think about except doing your bit for that 2 hours as well as you can. We always believed that we had something special and that we could do anything that anyone else did, this kind of thing, you know, that's the kind of belief that kept us going in the early days. But I don't think we quite believed what would happen. I don't think we even knew what was possible. We wait a long time, and the tickets will go on sale for Wembley on Friday. And it's always a time where you sort of go, I wonder what is out there, I wonder if they still do want to see us, you know. You never know. And we'll only know once the applications start coming. I don't know where our motivation comes from, really. Except I think we're all still trying to use this beast which Queen is as a vehicle to get our own ideas across. And we all write very different kinds of songs, and it's quite a challenge to get them through this kind of machinery and get them out. It's hard to explain, but for instance for myself, if I write a song which has a particular idea behind it and I can hear it in my head, I've then got to take it to the other three and they will see it totally differently and want to do it in a different way, and some of their input will be very good and very necessary, and some of it will probably actually destroy the meaning of the song. So there's all this interaction going on all the time, and the motivation, the challenge is to actually get something across in the right way that moves people.
Brian, you've got a great audience out here tonight. Do you think large gigs like this are going to be a growing trend over here?
Well, I think this particular venue is probably going to prove a thing which will develop. It's ideally suited, and it's going to get better and better as it grows up, I think, and as it acquires a reputation for happening. You know. It's a very nice place. As regards big events, I think that they're a constant thing. You know, there's usually a demand for someone to do something like this. It looks like fun, actually.
What was it like in Brazil playing to 250,000 people?
It was unbelievable. I'll never forget it, actually. We really got lifted off the ground. The funny thing about that is that it was a lot easier because the temperature was a lot more constant. In this country, when the sun sets, the temperature zooms down and you have tuning problems and stuff like that. So it was really quite easy to do those from that point of view. Because outdoor gigs are fraught with all kinds of unexpected things, you know. Rain, but it seems to have all gone.
It must be great to command this kind of support. Do you think Queen can stay on top?
I don't know, really. We've been sort of gradually building over the last 10 years, really, so I hope we keep on building, that's all. We sort of feel that we keep changing, and provided we get bored first, then there's no problem, you know. Well, we're not young lads of 15, you know, that's one of the things, you know. We did our schooling and we went into it quite late, so we weren't about to be blown away as soon as we had a hit record. And it hasn't been overnight success since then. We gradually built. So you don't really, to be honest, you don't usually feel that much of a star, if you know what I mean, most of the time. It only hits you at strange little moments if you bump into somebody or something. Actually, in Leeds, where we were before this, I got a feeling of what a buzz the band created, which made me quite nervous, really, because I have some family up there, and you begin to realise what goes on around, and not just from your point of view. See, where we are, we're quite insulated. We come in, I mean, it's not always in a helicopter, but we come in our sort of car or whatever, and go on stage, and you feel it while it's on there, and then you're sort of protected. Maybe you're overprotected, I don't know. But I think if you felt all the emotion that actually goes into it from both sides, you would really find it hard to handle.
This is completely different. We have a whole new set of sound and lights, and we're doing a lot of the new songs too. The new stuff is, we think, the best we've ever had because it's the most maneuverable, and it's like UFOs which can actually follow us around the stage. So I think a lot of people have offered to buy them off us, but they can have them when we finish.
Sounds like secret ingredients.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's an interesting show. Hard to say. I don't think really that's the reason. That's one of the reasons we've managed to stay together, I think, which is important and often overlooked. You know. But no, I think the reason that we managed to keep in the public eye is that we change and we get bored before the public do. I think that's the way we see it.
Oh, some of them. The ones that like.
I mean, some get bored anyway. Yeah.
A bit overblown. Is that a criticism? It could be. I think. Fuck off! Is that an answer? No.
Well, I'm seriously planning doing some stuff on my own now, trying to finish off my own album, and I hope to go out and play somewhere just to sort of get back into the swing of it, seeing as there probably won't be a Queen tour for some time. So I'm getting very, very itchy. You know, I just want to get out there. So, you know, more writing, and I'm doing stuff in my own little studio at the moment, just more and more fiddling, trying to get more direction, you know. I've sort of given up producing for a while. I did a lot of it for a while, but I always found that I wanted to play the guitar on the stuff that I was producing, and so it became like, I thought, why should I be doing this? I really, you know, life is fairly short. Really, the thing I do best is play the guitar, so I should be doing that, you know, I should be singing and playing, you know. Singing a little and playing a lot.
How did you do it?
I had an argument with a skateboard, or an argument with a curb on a skateboard.
And you lost?
And I lost, and it broke just here on the humerus, which is not as funny as it sounds, but it's going to heal though, you know. So I'm going to put my bid on later. I mean, I saw Deep Purple quite a few times, yeah. I remember one particular time, which I've probably recounted before, where they played at my college, and the power went, and I remember them. This is where I kind of learnt what professionalism was, because they
with no power, the guy just, the front man, who I think was Gillan, it must have been Ian Gillan,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, just stood there and sort of told a few jokes, got the audience very, very much on their side, and gradually things began to come back, and they just took the audience to a new level once the power came back on. It was very good, very impressive. There's only two bastions of the old British Empire left. One is the Queen Mary, which you're having this party on, and the other one is us, which you have just delightfully bought. So we're thrilled to be with you and look forward to a great and sparkling future under the Disneyland, or should I say Hollywood, sign.
Good
Take
luck,
care.
Hollywood.
Bye.
Bye.
Once more. Oh,